Hey, Seminole State family. You already know to be choosy with your newsy. So today we are going to deep dive into databases where you can find credible, helpful news and newspaper sources. Extra, extra, hear all about it. We can't read about it because this is a video. What is Research Rally?
Learn with librarians. Get campus info. Connect with your Seminole State family.
Every Wednesday at 4 p.m. at Seminole State Live on YouTube.
Hey!
Hello!
Whee!
Are we still dabbing on them? I just dabbed on them. There we go.
Dab, he's bringing back the dab. You hear
Bringing
that,
it back.
Bring back
It's
the
like
dab.
a year old. It's over.
We can
Hi,
bring it
everyone.
back. We can bring it
Welcome to
back.
the Research Rally. Welcome.
Wednesday, 4 p.m. Nicole from the library, and joined by all the familiar faces.
Hi, I'm Ross, and down
The
there.
one and only.
Information Jason. Hi, everyone.
Woo,
Welcome. We're glad
yeah.
you're here.
So welcome, Seminole State family. And also I have my little moniker, sobriquet, nickname. We got a bunch of synonyms working here. This is my news name. Like if I was going to be like a news reporter, it'd be THAT'S News to me. Okay, so that's who I am today. All right, so if you call me Nicole, I'm not going to answer, but better call me THAT'S. Back to you, THAT'S. Okay, try it out. So yes, today we are doing a database.
Back to you, Thaddeus.
Thank you,
It worked.
Jason.
I don't know. I tried it. You didn't say when. I just threw it in there. I don't know.
Database deep dive, and we're going to talk about news and newspaper sources. We're also going to talk a little bit about kind of the special nuanced ways that news sources inform about a topic. It's a little bit different than other types of sources, research articles and things like that. So we're definitely going to hit on that. I'm going to plug this again towards the end of today's show. But listen, if you are a Seminole State student and you have not applied for a foundation scholarship, there are hundreds of thousands of dollars to be gotten. The due date happens 3 times a year. The next due date is November 15th, so that's
2
just
weeks.
a couple weeks away. The hardest part of this application will be writing a 500-word essay about yourself. That's the hardest part. I don't think that's the hardest
easy.
thing to do.
That's cake. That's easy.
So why aren't we doing it, y'all? Come on, go to foundationscholars.com and apply for one of those many scholarships that are available to you. Okay, so news, deep diving into news.
Make sure to put your name and your professor for your IDS 1107 class into the chat. We're putting everyone up on the screen. We'll put the link in shortly. And if you're using a screen name, make sure to adjust it a little bit so we can put in your real name into the Raider Connect for chat for credit. Okay?
That's right.
Back to you, Nicole. Back to you, Nicole. Back to you, Thaddeus.
Thank you, Jason. All right, so just a reminder, we should all be choosy with our newsy. We've talked about this before.
Newsy.
And if you're in one of these databases that we're going to talk about today, you can be assured that that it's a credible source. We also sometimes use web sources, and we'll hit on that a little bit today as well. Just a few reminders about sifting and kind of figuring out like when to do that and why not to do that at times. So Ross, do you want to go ahead and share your screen share?
I will. What I am looking at is a list of some databases. And,
All right, so can we just backtrack a little bit? I know if we have some returning viewers and fans, because we've got like 8 million fans watching right now. They've probably seen this before, but can we backtrack to where we would get to this? Thank you, Ross.
Yeah, so what we're looking at is we're looking at some specific databases that collect newspaper sources. So when we went here, what I did was I went to the databases, and the very first thing I did was, knowing that I needed news sources, I went to the category for news and current events. And that's where we find ourselves. Oh, it didn't take. So I'm going to cheat.
Refresh.
Now it did. Now it did.
Okay.
All right, so
once
now we're
again-
looking at news, and then we just put in the chat. Sorry, Thaddeus. I just want to make sure that everyone in the chat knows we're asking you questions throughout the program, so make sure to engage with us. The question now is, where do you get your news from? Be specific. Don't put social media. Tell us where you get your news from, and then we're going to take a look at some of these news and current event databases from the Seminole State Virtual Library. Back to you, Thaddeus. Ross, do you have a name? Do you have a Chip Winklemeyer or
Oh, Chip Winkle. Chip. Okay,
I don't know.
okay.
Skip Master
Wait,
Master
what was-
Antonio Sinman.
You said,
Moss
was that the
Wharton.
one? Shannon Cake Fritter? Like, that's my favorite. Wait, Shannon actually, historically actually was
Oh.
a male name.
I think there's unisex there.
Could be.
Kelly,
So, of course,
Kelly,
we-
Shannon. There's a lot of sort of So
Okay. So
but
Shannon
again-
Cake Fritter, back to you.
Oh,
What's
okay.
Our top?
All
Okay,
right.
we'll call Ross Shannon Cake Fritter.
Dolores
Okay.
Fruit Basket.
I
I
mean,
will
I
not
like.
remember that, but I'm in. Do
You
it.
could
Okay.
take the name of your first street and then the name of your first pet, and maybe that's a I don't know.
All right, drop your news name in the comments, everybody.
Yeah, put your
that's
news
watching.
name. That's a good question, Thaddeus. What's your news name in the chat there?
Okay, so best bets. This is where on all of our database category pages, we basically select. If you have to start somewhere and you're not sure, pick a best bet because it's probably going to be the most helpful thing to start with, at least. And we have US News Stream right here at the top that Shannon Cake Fritters opened so helpfully.
Opened
And
it twice.
oh, and Newsstream, US Newsstream, it's owned by like ProQuest. So you're going to see
Mhm.
today multiple databases, and ProQuest is like the brand, and each brand has multiple different products. So you'll see we have multiple news databases actually owned by ProQuest. So where do we start if we are searching for news here in US Newsstream?
Well, I mean, you could approach it a couple different ways. I mean, if I was looking for a topic and I didn't particularly care which newspaper, I just knew I wanted news, like I wanted a current story about something. You can just search here, and it's very similar to any other search system you've used before, very Google-ish here. So we could just put in a topic. You know, Nicole and I were talking about TikTok earlier, so why don't we go with that? That's perfect.
I feel
So
like
maybe
some
we-
of our, and because we were like, I feel like some of our viewers and students today could like, they know more about TikTok than we do. I don't use TikTok. So, and I don't think y'all do, I don't know. But so I thought that was a cool topic. And it's been in the news more recently because of TikTok bans and questions about
Mhm.
privacy and data breaches and things like that.
Yeah, so when we search in here, it's going to rank things by relevance, which could mean anything to us here. But like when you start looking at these sources, the first thing I look at when I'm looking at news is how old is this news story? Has it been superseded by something more? Like, is this still current kind of stuff? You know, so I can see right here, this is from just about a year ago now, right? So like, okay, well, it's about a ban, so it might still be relevant to our needs here. And this one's from a little bit more recently, April of this year and March of this year. So we can kind of get a lay of the land here. I can see like, oh, okay, we're dealing with pretty current stuff already.
Now, Shannon, I noticed that you, or Chip, we can go with Chip, whatever you like. I noticed at the top that you clicked full text, which is something that we do, and like most databases have that. We would like to advise all students to do that, because then everything you'll see in your results list, you'll be able to read the full text of. So
Yeah,
Full text is a good
Perfect.
option. Can we combine the two? Can we do like Shan Chip, Frankfurter, Fernboxer? What was your name?
Chip Shannon. We could do
Chip
Chip
Shannon.
Shannon.
Let's do Chip
I think
Shannon,
that works.
corn
Chip
fritter.
Shannon.
Chip Shannon,
Very
corn
good.
fritter.
Yeah.
Back to you,
So-
Chip Shannon.
So yeah, I did that full text probably without even thinking about it. It's just such an automatic part of my search process there. But if you uncheck full text, you're going to see a lot more results. You just won't be able to get to them all immediately there. So full text will save you some steps in this
Okay.
process here.
So if I wanted to have the most recent items, is there a way I can sort this list
Sure.
like very quickly? Oh, okay, most recent first. So that
It's like,
definitely
just show me
put
something that happened this week, and there's something that happened today. It was published in the USA Today today.
Yeah, and based on the
Amazing.
currency of this particular product, it can't stretch too far back. I mean, 2000,
Mm-hmm.
23, 21, 2020 is when I think it first started. So we're just by default not going to be able to get anything prior to its existence, right? You're not going to be able to find that, but this would be good up-to-date information. And there was somebody earlier who said, I think it was Paulina, who said, you get message from TikTok creators. I wanted to kind of throw that out there. And I know, Nicole, we have a roadmap for where we're going, but how do we believe them? How do we evaluate a TikTok creator
Right.
and so forth? So just keep that in your mind, because we want to talk about that on
Yeah.
today's research rally.
Yeah, and I mean, just really quickly on that point, the SIFT method, which a lot of our FYE students should by now, because they've passed module 6, should be familiar with. the F, the like find additional sources or investigate further. Wait, which one it is? Anyway, find sources, more than one source that corroborates your information. That's one thing you can do. Now, you also want to look at authorship, who wrote it, like, do they have credibility? But definitely, if you see something on TikTok or even one place, even CNN.com, don't run with it. Find it at least one or two other places.
Yeah, and again, think about where is it coming from if you can corroborate it. And we're starting to get, again, with the TikTok, I think we're talking to a different audience and a different generation, where if you're getting news from TikTok influencers, and I'm not shading you, Paulina, I'm trying to bring up a good sort of question and a good point. Like, how do you know what they're telling you is reliable and trustworthy? Because there's so many different stories that come out. There was one about something about teeth, and then you got to drink this thing and your teeth will be okay, or let's flip off the back of a boat and let's see what happens there. And these things all end up really, really thumbs down bad. It's always like a bad scenario. So I'm curious, like, what would be a good example that you got from it? I'm thinking maybe the question is not where do you get your news from, but like, where do you get life hacks from? Like, TikTok would be a good way to be like, oh, wow, I can bring that into there. Oh, now I know I could save $20 on my airline flights. But what about your news of the world?
Yeah. I mean, I think you can get it on. I just, once again, going back to multiple, like seeing the same type of thing in multiple sources and seeing how it checks out. What are the similarities that remain in multiple sources? That's kind of the clue that is valuable or credible information. So, it's a definitely, hey, research is strategic exploration. Okay. It's not like just so cut and dry. We have to experiment here. We have to be judging. We have to do some detective work, even whether it's for school or for personal information.
Well, there's a lot of implicit trust, meaning it's just kind of, I trust it. It's a TikTok person. I mean, here's an example. You guys, when's the last time anybody watching, you've been on an airline flight? Who has gone in there and said, hey, pilot, how many hours have you ever flown? We just implicitly trust, hey, there's somebody up there and they're going to get us here to there. But should we really? Is it like how... What about your news information that you're putting in your paper for your assignment in a class that you paid for? That's going to be your degree. Why not try to get the best information possible? So we're directing you to the library databases.
Sure. So in this list of results, Ross, if you click on a title, if you want to read the actual newspaper article, we click on the title, and whatever you searched will be highlighted. You can also, if you decide that you want to search some other terms on this article, you could do Control F on your keyboard, which brings up a search box that will search this whole web page, which that can also be helpful instead of like changing up your search terms. Also, as in other databases, if you find newspaper articles that you think may be helpful to you and you even might use, okay, I'm not talking about definitely, I'm talking about that you might use them. Please, 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 at the top right-hand corner, please save as a PDF, download to your computer if that's what you want to do, or print it, or there's probably more options. You might be able to save to your OneDrive, save the article. Do not copy the URL at the top of the page.
No.
That's a unique URL that is like, it's attached to literally your login, your search our subscription databases. So don't copy that, but the copy URL button that's like that Ross is pointing to there. Excuse me.
Oh, wait, hold on. He has a different name. Wait,
Docs, our co-presenter.
Hold on. He has a different name. Can you pot him up? Hold on. He's got to go pot up Ross.
Wait, hold on. Wait, no. Wait.
No?
Wait. It's not. Hold on.
Is it
wait for
Chip
it.
or shit?
There.
Wow! Look at it.
Okay. Fabulous. Thank you, Skip Shamble. Thank you, Skip. Okay.
Okay.
You can use that copy URL button up there. But don't literally copy the URL. Oh, we got Brian Fuller.
Yeah, Brian's got some good takes here.
Okay.
Examining the article. If it's more than 10 years, you may want a different source. I always use the scenario with my students in the class. What about that thing in the back of your fridge? It's been there for a while. You put it in there. It was nice and ready to go. And now it's green and moldy and it's growing legs. Are you still going to eat it? No.
You were describing an actual sus burger.
Yeah.
Do not eat it. It was green, moldy, growing legs, you said. No.
Anything not biased and informational. That's great, Brian. And then Ross, up here on the top, we noted that this is a New York Times article, right? Because New York Times now charges people for subscriptions, and you get free access to all these articles through the library databases when you're taking classes here at Seminole State. So you're also saving money at the same time, and so you're getting a trusted, reliable source. So Ross, can you click on the citation button, which is otherwise known as kind of the quotes, the air quotes, the little bunny rabbit ears?
Yeah, look at this.
Can we see? We got an APA. Oh, so now let's take a look. Is that APA 6? Is that what our professor? Why do they offer so many different choices for APA? Jerry Seinfeld voice.
I always wonder who's using the 5th edition of APA stuff. Like,
Yeah.
It's so cringe. PA 5th, cringe. So that's what's make us old people cringe. Us librarians cringe.
So Alessandra, usually look, other people are saying or not, mixed reports. Okay, right, because
Not a
you guys know, in your real life, you know you've done this. Hey, did you hear this? Who told you that? Where'd you hear that from? Even if it's a family member, even if it's a trusted, reliable source, it's always like, wait a minute, who told you that? Where are you getting that from? Comparing the other. Thank you, Daniela. Go ahead. That is awesome. I forget your name.
Chip something.
You just actually accidentally said it. You said that is awesome.
Oh, that's the last one. What's your first name? Oh, that is Newsome. That is Rossum. Rossum is awesome.
You get it? That is news to me.
Chip Barnacle, Scamwinkle. Here with the weather. I don't have a name, I guess. Information
Okay.
Jason, I guess. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so once again, searching is strategic exploration. So Ross start out TikTok bans, and that's pretty simple. And we usually coach students to start simple and maybe get more specific with searching. But we could switch out keywords to get a different set of results, or at least to try to get a different set of results. So maybe instead of TikTok bans, we could also try, if we're looking for news sources on TikTok and like TikTok like data, TikTok security, if that we know, kind of have a general idea that like, okay, the ban was based on like data security. I don't know if this is it. Like you just kind of see, all right, Indiana sues. Okay.
I mean, again, we don't have TikTok here at the college. That's been banned at Seminole State. And as you were flipping through, I saw some other things that were on there from other Florida institutions. It said Florida State and FAMU. So I guess where I'm coming back, and I guess I'm picking on TikTok a little bit here. If it's banned at certain colleges and it's banned in certain places in the country, does that impact your evaluation? Does it make you think that you shouldn't use it? And again, I'm just asking. I don't know. The only part about the TikTok that I know is the toe. So I don't know any TikTok or tic-tac-toe or TikTok. Do you like that one, Nicole?
Manga mia. I don't never get to use that one. So.
Thank you, Thaddeus. What about you, Skip Chamble?
well-
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like TikTok itself has like all these kinds of security issues with it there, but like, I mean, as an information source, I echo everything that you said on that. Like, I get into this with my mom all the time with social media. Like, she never tells me where the information came from. She just says, I saw it on Facebook. No, Facebook doesn't make news. Like, who told you that?
Right. And Brian brings up a good point about the getting away from plagiarism and citing the sources. Again, I guess kind of what I'm saying is your source that you're using for your college paper is going to be influencer XYZ from TikTok. Like that's the trusted source. I'm just trying to figure it out. I know we're all coming from different walks of life and different learning styles and stuff, but at the college level, I guess I'm asking each of you, all of the viewers, the 6 billion viewers who are watching this, is it, do you change it a little bit and go, okay, for that, maybe I'll look for TikTok information for more leisure and more entertainment value. And then for the academics, I need to go to a different source. As you said, searching is a strategic exploration. You kind of have to.
Now, Ross, if you want to go back to the search, I'm sorry, Skip, and Jason, you brought up the where TikTok is banned, Florida source, like in Florida, and actually, I asked this question earlier. If you can search TikTok Florida, one of the ways that news sources can actually be used to their full advantage is if you are searching a topic, whatever it is, TikTok or whatever, a news situation, an event. If you look for local news sources about that event, you do get some really specific and tailored information, and it's reported differently at the local level versus the national level. So know that there are national and local sources depending on your event. You know, it could be whatever. If it's happening in Florida, a Florida news source is local, right? If it happened in New York, the Florida news source is not local, and it's going to be reported differently. It's going to give you more information. So if you are searching an event, look for both local and national sources that might report differently. And also, news sources they're the first in that information timeline. They're the first sources to come out. So you can kind of get like a real temperature check on the feelings and the emotions and the thoughts and viewpoints on that event at a very visceral level, right? And if an article or a study is done that incorporates an event later, it's like it's been very thought about more. But news articles, and you can find tons of old news articles in these databases.
News articles. Find the news articles.
But
you bring up a good point. When something happens immediately, maybe that's when I would go to TikTok. We used to go to Twitter. We used to find out breaking news on Twitter. Oh, that's correct. Well, I think I used it in the correct term. We used to use it on Twitter. I don't know what it's used for on X because I'm not on there and I'm not paying for news in that respect. So I think that's a whole other conversation. But where I was going was that instant
zinger. That was Elon. He just got zinged.
Zinger! Hey, if you're on the side of the road and this car gets on fire or something on I-4, it's a big traffic jam, and you're taking a picture of it or something, you put that out on social media, boom. It doesn't mean you're the expert on everything. You don't have to be. It's just kind of they call them like a you reporter, right? You're the reporter and you put up a thing. But when we found out what happened to that truck and why it caught on fire and the ramifications of that needs to be further investigated, right? And that's where the information timeline comes into play. And by the way, everyone in the chat's doing a great job of reiterating that plagiarism is bad. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, South Park character.
All these kids saying plagiarism bad makes my teacher heart dance.
There you go.
We're kind of teachers. Librarians are kind of teachers.
Oh, we're faculty. And Ross, is this the only one we're looking at today? Do we have another one? Maybe we'll pop around. So we looked at this again, and let's do the Nicole. That is awesome. THAT'S. How did we get there again, Ross?
This is just one of our databases. If you remember, we started at the main library page. This is just the Seminole State Library page. We went to the databases. We chose a subject area here as the news databases, and this listed off a bunch of options. Now, US Newsstream is usually, it's my go-to for news sources there, but like Nicole was saying, sometimes you want local news. We have a database that's just Florida newspapers. This Florida News Sources database, that's all you will find there is just publications from Florida. Orlando Sentinel's in there. Even, at one point in time, like the Sanford Herald was in this database. So if you wanted to, kind of look at specific publications, they list them all out down here.
Great. That's really good.
If we search just for TikTok, we would only be seeing Florida reporting on it. So that's a cool tool.
Well, maybe that's something, if you were back on that one, hit in something like storm season or hurricane season, because that's going to have a different impact if you're in Pensacola than if you're in Key West, or if you're in Sanford, or if you're in Jacksonville. Well, let's just see what it says. What comes up? So it scans everything, Ross? Cold front. We got a cold front coming to Daytona Beach. It's going to be 65 degrees.
Wow, so that's some real granular article.
Get your parkas out.
Yeah, this one's defaulted to the newest articles. So when we search there, we're seeing what came out today.
Best in law, home insurance. Okay, and then again on this one, did we switch? Can you click on the citation button? Does this one help? What do you all in the chat? What do you think of the citation buttons in the? There it is, on the library databases. Does that help? Is that for the whole page? How can you cite the?
I guess I have to.
You have to click.
Oh yeah, in between. Yeah, let's click on chilly Daytona Beach night there, baby.
So we want
it's gonna get down to the low 60s.
That is cold enough. I'm not even.
I think so. I don't disagree. What do we got? Do we give us an option?
Yeah,
APA?
It gives us all sorts of things. APA, Chicago, MLA, all sorts of ones there.
Very
if you click
handy.
on it talls me right there. That's how I would cite it.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say the only downside is we don't know if it's MLA 9. We don't know if it's MLA 8. The other one had every MLA and every APA under the book. So the point being, everyone, is that, hey, you have to look. We have to look at each one. I mean, you think you got gas in the car, you got a big trip, you go out, turn the key, there's no gas in the car. So we got to make sure that that's the exact MLA that you want and need before you use it, or come to a librarian and we can contact News Bank and try to figure everything out. But keep all this in mind.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. Thank you, Alessandra. The prompt in the chat was, do you know the differences between a .gov, a .com, a .edu, and a .org, and so on? And I think we're pretty on point. Alessandra says a yep, and then can I get a witness? And yeah, we got a yes. We know it. We know it.
So
Very good.
a lot of times we might pop onto like CNN.com or some other web sources for news, and that's can be very helpful. And a lot of them are reputable, like CNN.com or even a .gov news source. And we can see things that are more recent, like very recent. But in particular, if you need articles going back years through different decades of like more obscure newspapers, those are some reasons why you would go into these databases instead of just going to web pages. Now, a lot of times your professors assign you to go into the databases and get a certain amount of articles, newspaper articles from databases. Of course, you would follow their directions, but know that it has a purpose, and it's going to be harder to find like some random, like everything is in here. They have put so many articles in here. They've tagged them with all different type of terms. So they're very searchable, and that's different than what you find if you're at CNN.com or even New York Times.
You're right.
We have the historical New York Times database as part on our database list, so that's available to you as well.
And sometimes many of those, Nicole, are paywalls. You have to pay to get the news. I mean, this has become a newer thing in the late, 2010s, 2012s, 15s. It's like, well, let's charge for news. Let's charge. Have you guys ever thought about why we're not paying for oxygen at this point? It's becoming a Spaceballs movie. It's becoming where oxygen, and we pay for water, we pay for this, we pay for news. So, this news is available. It's on the college virtual library, which is part of your tuition. So take advantage of these databases that we have to offer. And one more thing, Nicole, that is awesome. I forget your name. Skip Barnwinkle, help me out there, corn fritter. We did put the link in the chat, so go ahead and click on that link just once, and you should be able to get your credit for first-year experience. If you have any discrepancies, problems, questions, comments, concerns, you can reach back out to us. Back to you.
And you can also text us if something goes wrong or you want to extra double make sure, that's always available. Also, you can text us if you have a research question.
Yeah, happy to help. And by the way, at 5 o'clock tonight, we have the speaker series. You can live stream it at seminolestate.edu, so I'm going to run over there now. Thank you, everyone. Nicole, do you got the outro? Do you have the outro? You ready to do it?
I never have it ready.
Oh, okay. I'll stay 2 more seconds. Daniela, go ahead and click the link once. Just click on the link once. You should be good to go. And I could double check and confirm that you are good to go. And Daniela, you're good. You're good. We got you. If you made an RSVP, thank you very much for RSVPing. And we do this every Wednesday at 4 o'clock here on the YouTubes. And if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, let us know. How are we doing? Was this super cringe? Was this helpful? Go ahead and use the chat right now. Was this kind of like, meh? Like, I liked all their silly names? They are librarians, right? They did go to graduate school? Yes, we did. Thank you for those answers. We did.
Over there on the wall.
We did. They're all framed here. Gray academia room here. We're all framed up. So
look, I've got this. I'm definitely a librarian. All right.
I have this. I'm a librarian.
Skip Chamble, what do you have?
Skip Chamble,
I have a membership card. I don't know.
There it is. You're a librarian. Thank you. All right. We're getting some good comments in here. Thank you, Paulina. We appreciate you being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here at Seminole State. And one more quick thing, as we're kind of getting closer to the end of the term, you're going to have some questions and research papers coming up soon. So keep coming back to us. Keep coming back to the librarians. We're here to help. All right, Nicole, where's that outro video? Do we have it? Ready?
Yeah.
Outro? Here it comes. You ready for that? Where's the... Okay, here it is, everyone. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. It's the end of the show. Bye!